Listen to me, nothing in your life is going to change until you get serious. And I know you've heard that before, but you still don't get it. Because right now, a lot of you are playing with it. You're playing with your dreams. You're playing with your health. You're playing with your money. You're playing with your time. And every time you tell yourself, I'm going to do better, you feel good for a moment, but then nothing happens. Why? Because you're not serious yet. Everybody in here knows what they want. That's not the problem. You've been talking about it, writing it down, thinking about it, praying about it. You know exactly what needs to change, but knowing doesn't change anything. Being aware doesn't shift your reality. If awareness alone created results, you'd already be living the life you keep imagining. You're not stuck because you don't know. You're stuck because you won't commit. You ever notice how easy it is to give advice to other people? Somebody comes to you with their problem and you can see the solution plain as day. You're like, if you just did this, if you stopped doing that, everything would change. And you're right. But when it comes to you, when it comes to your own situation, you don't apply that same clarity. You know why? Because no one feels safe. Commitment feels scary. And most people would rather live in the comfort of knowing than in the discomfort of committing. Let me break it down. Interest and commitment are not the same thing. When you're interested, you'll do it when it's convenient. When you're interested, you'll do it when you feel like it. But when you're committed, you'll do it no matter what. When you're committed, you don't need a reminder. You don't need somebody to hype you up. You don't need the stars to align. You just do it because you've decided that this is non-negotiable. Some of you are in that space right now where you're halfway in, halfway out. You've got one foot in the dream, one foot in comfort. You want the results, but you don't want the responsibility. And I'm telling you, you can't have both. Life is not going to reward half effort with full blessings. If you keep giving 50%, you're going to keep getting 50%. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you're tired. You're living in the gap between interest and commitment. I remember when I kept saying I was going to do better, I would say it with all the conviction in the world. But deep down, I knew I wasn't serious. I liked the idea of success, but I wasn't ready to sacrifice for it. And as long as I stayed in that space, my life never moved. The moment things shifted for me wasn't when I learned something new. It wasn't when I heard some magical strategy. It was when I finally got tired of my own excuses. It was when I decided, no more playing around, no more talking about it. I'm done being interested. I'm committing. That's when the doors started opening. That's when I started seeing change. And here's the truth. When you get serious, everything changes. You start moving differently. You start thinking differently. You stop wasting time. You stop surrounding yourself with people who aren't going where you're going. You stop settling. You stop negotiating with yourself. The moment you decide you're serious, you begin to attract the opportunities, the people, the energy that match that level of seriousness. But let me warn you, it's not glamorous. Getting serious means doing the hard stuff when nobody's watching. It means waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It means saying no to stuff that everybody else says yes to. It means grinding without applause, putting in work without recognition, staying disciplined when your feelings are telling you to quit. But that's the difference. That's the gap between people who talk about it and people who actually live it. Somebody in here is waiting for the perfect time. You keep telling yourself, when I get this money, then I'll get serious. When I finish this, then I'll get serious. When I feel more motivated, then I'll get serious. And let me tell you something. You're lying to yourself. There will never be a perfect time. The perfect time is the moment you decide to stop waiting. The perfect time is right now. Every day you put it off, you're reinforcing the habit of procrastination. Every time you say tomorrow, you're proving to yourself that you're not serious yet. And I know some of you tried before and you failed and now you're scared to really commit again. But understand this. Failure doesn't mean you weren't capable. Failure just means you weren't serious enough yet. When you're truly serious, failure doesn't stop you. You don't fold after one setback. You don't quit because it got hard. You learn, you adjust, you keep moving. That's what commitment looks like. Look at the areas of your life where you've succeeded already. Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your family, maybe it's something you built from scratch. Think about what you did there. You committed. You didn't give yourself an option to quit. You didn't flirt with it. You locked in. That same energy is what you need to bring to the area you've been neglecting. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get brutally honest with yourself. Don't leave here saying you want change if you're not ready to get serious. Don't lie to yourself like that. If you're not ready, be real about it. But if you are ready, if you're tired of going in circles, if you're tired of waking up to the same frustrations, then tonight has to be the night you make the shift. And I mean really make it. Not halfway, not part-time, not trial. Commit. Decide that you're done playing. Decide that you're going to give it everything you've got, no matter what it costs, no matter how long it takes. Because the moment you get serious, the moment you truly commit, that's the moment your life will never be the same again. Until you get serious, nothing changes. Do you want me to now take key point 2 and expand it in this exact same 1,000 word speech style flow so you can build the full speech step by step? Let me tell you something right now. Discipline will take you places that motivation can't. Too many of you are waiting to feel motivated. You wake up in the morning, you check how you feel, and if you're not fired up, you don't move. You wait for that spark, that energy, that excitement. And yeah, motivation feels good, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. One day it's sunny, you feel good, you're ready to go. The next day it's storming, and suddenly you don't want to do anything. If your success depends on motivation, you're already in trouble. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't ask if you're in the mood. Discipline doesn't wait for the right song to come on or the right speech to hype you up. Discipline says, we'll do it anyway. Motivation is about feelings. Discipline is about decisions. Discipline says, I made a commitment and I'm going to keep it whether I feel like it or not. That's the problem for a lot of you. You think the people who succeed are always motivated. You think the athlete who trains every morning wakes up excited every single day. You think the business owner grinding late into the night always feels inspired. That's not true. What separates them isn't motivation, it's discipline. It's the ability to show up consistently, regardless of the mood, regardless of the circumstances. You ever notice how easy it is to do the right thing when you're motivated, you're on fire, you're excited, you can't wait to get started? But what about the days when you don't feel like it? What about the days when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when life hits you hard? That's where discipline steps in. That's where you separate the interested from the committed, because everybody can do it when it's easy. The question is, can you do it when it's hard? Think about it. If you only go to work when you feel like it, you're getting fired. If you only take care of your kids when you feel like it, you're not a parent, you're a babysitter. If you only work on your dream when you feel like it, that dream is going to stay a dream. Discipline is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And here's the truth. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not flashy. Nobody claps for you when you wake up at 5 a.m. and go for that run. Nobody celebrates you when you choose the salad over the fries. Nobody's cheering when you stay up late studying, when you save money instead of spending it, when you're grinding quietly in the dark. But that's where success is built, in those uncelebrated, unnoticed, disciplined moments. Some of you are waiting for somebody to notice your effort, to pat you on the back, to give you recognition. Let me help you right now. You don't need applause. You need results. And results don't come from motivation. They come from discipline. Let me be real. Motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. And the reason some of you keep stopping and starting is because you're relying on motivation. You're waiting for that burst of energy, that rush of excitement, and when it's gone, you quit. You don't need another hype video. You don't need another motivational speech. You need discipline. You need to train yourself to move without feelings. It's like building a muscle. At first, discipline feels heavy. It feels uncomfortable. You don't want to do it. But the more you do it, the stronger it gets. The more you push yourself to act regardless of your mood, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Discipline becomes your default setting. And when discipline becomes your default, consistency becomes inevitable. Let me give you an example. If you brush your teeth every day, you don't do it because you're motivated. You don't wake up every morning excited like, oh man, I can't wait to brush my teeth today. No, you do it because it's a habit. You don't even think about it. You just do it because you know the consequence if you don't. That's discipline. The same way you brush your teeth, you need to approach your goals. You don't wait until you feel like it. You don't debate it. You just do it because that's who you are now. The people who make it to the top aren't the most talented. They're not the luckiest. They're the ones who are disciplined enough to outlast everybody else. They don't need to be in the mood to win. They just win. They don't need perfect conditions. They just grind. And because of that, they separate themselves from the crowd. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting to feel good. Start practicing discipline. Start showing up even when you're tired. Start pushing even when it hurts. Start moving even when you don't see results yet. Because that's the test. That's the grind. That's the difference between wishing for success and actually living it. I promise you, if you can master discipline, there's nothing you can't achieve. Because discipline creates habits, and habits create lifestyles, and lifestyles create results. And once discipline becomes part of who you are, you'll never need to chase motivation again. Until you learn that discipline outweighs motivation, nothing changes. Do you want me to move straight into expanding key point 3 the same way, so the whole speech flows section by section without breaks? Some of you keep thinking you've got to do something massive overnight to change your life, and that's why you keep quitting. You start, it feels too big, too overwhelming, and then you stop. But listen to me, success is not about one giant leap. Success is about small, consistent steps done every single day. It's about the habits you build, the little things you do when nobody's looking, the choices you make moment by moment that start compounding into something great over time. We live in a world that glorifies instant results. Everybody wants it now. You want the body in a week. You want the business in a month. You want the lifestyle in a year. And when it doesn't happen that fast, you get discouraged and you quit. But that's not how it works. The people you admire, the people you look at and say, man, they're successful. What you don't see is the years of small, disciplined habits that added up to that success. You've got to stop underestimating the power of small steps. That 1 hour a day you spend studying, that 30 minutes you spend working out, that $10 you save instead of spending, it all adds up. At first, it feels like it doesn't matter. At first, it feels like you're not making progress. But give it time and watch what happens. Those little steps compound into massive shifts. Think about it. A drop of water on a rock doesn't do much the first time, but let that water drip in the same spot day after day, year after year, and eventually it carves out a hole. That's what your habits do. Small actions, consistently applied, have the power to shape your entire life. Some of you, the reason you're stuck is because you keep underestimating consistency. You do something for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and because you don't see immediate results, you quit. You say, this isn't working. No. It is working, you just can't see it yet. Success is like planting seeds. You water it every day. You don't see anything at first. But underground, the roots are forming. Growth is happening even if you can't see it. And if you quit too early, you never give it the chance to break through. I'm telling you right now, your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of consistency. The habits you commit to daily are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Every day you choose discipline over comfort. Every day you choose progress over excuses. You're building momentum. And momentum is powerful. Once it starts rolling, it's hard to stop. But here's the problem. You want big results without small discipline. You want the rewards without the process. And that's not how life works. You don't just wake up one day at the top of the mountain. You climb step by step, day by day. Some days you feel like you're making progress. Other days you feel stuck. But as long as you keep climbing, eventually you'll get there. Stop despising small beginnings. Stop thinking you've got to be perfect on day one. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just start where you are. Do what you can. Build one habit at a time, because one habit leads to another, and over time, you create a lifestyle that produces the results you want. You ever look back at your life and realize how the little decisions added up? You didn't get out of shape overnight. You didn't get into debt overnight. You didn't lose that opportunity overnight. It happened gradually, one small choice at a time. And the same way you got into that situation with small decisions, you can get out of it with small decisions. Don't underestimate the compound effect of daily discipline. Let me be clear, small doesn't mean easy, because small still requires consistency, and consistency requires discipline. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's not going to give you instant gratification. But it will change your life if you commit to doing the small things right. The big things will take care of themselves. Here's what you've got to understand. Habits are stronger than goals. Goals give you direction, but habits create results. You can say, I want to lose 30 pounds. That's a goal. But if your daily habit is eating fast food, that goal means nothing. You can say, I want to build wealth. That's a goal. But if your daily habit is spending every dollar, that goal means nothing. Habits are what bring the goal to life. And the beauty of habits is that once you build them, they carry you even when you don't feel like it. Once you train yourself to act consistently, you don't have to think about it as much. It becomes automatic. It becomes part of who you are. And when your habits align with your goals, success becomes inevitable. So I'm challenging you right now. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for some big, dramatic change. Focus on the small things you can control today. Wake up earlier. Read for 20 minutes. Save a little money. Practice your craft. Call that person. Do the small things and do them daily. Because over time, those small things are going to add up to something you can't even imagine. Let me remind you, it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. It's not usually the big things that take people out. It's the small neglects, the little excuses, the daily decisions to put it off. But the reverse is also true. It's the little disciplines that build your future. It's the daily choices to do right when you could do wrong, to push when you could quit, to grow when you could coast. That's where your future is built. You don't need to figure out the whole journey today. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Before you know it, those small steps will add up to miles. And one day you'll look back and realize you're living in the very place you used to dream about. That's the power of small habits. That's the power of consistency. That's the power of refusing to quit on the little things. Small habits compound into big shifts. Until you get serious about them, nothing changes. Do you want me to carry the same rhythm into key point 4 so you have a fully fleshed out speech from start to finish? Listen to me closely, because this right here might be the most important thing I say to you tonight. Nothing changes until you stop making excuses and start holding yourself accountable. Excuses are comfortable, they're easy, and they make you feel better in the moment. But excuses will rob you of your future. Excuses are why you're not where you want to be right now. Every time you come up short, every time you miss the mark, instead of owning it, you've got a reason. You've got an explanation. You've got somebody else to blame. And as long as you keep doing that, you'll stay stuck right where you are. See, excuses are dangerous because they sound so reasonable. I'm tired. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the connections. On the surface, they make sense. But the truth is, excuses are just stories you tell yourself to justify why you didn't show up, why you didn't push harder, why you didn't stay consistent. And the problem with those stories is that they don't change anything. They don't move you forward. They just keep you comfortable in failure. Accountability is the opposite of excuses. Accountability says it's on me. No matter what happens, no matter what obstacles I face, no matter how tough it gets, I take responsibility. Accountability doesn't blame circumstances. Accountability doesn't blame other people. Accountability says, if it's to be, it's up to me. And the moment you embrace accountability, everything changes because now you have power. Let me make this plain. As long as you're making excuses, you're giving your power away. You're putting the responsibility for your life in somebody else's hands. You're saying, I can't move forward until they do this. I can't succeed until this changes. And the moment you do that, you've lost control of your own life. But when you say, no, it's on me. No matter what happens out there, I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to grind. I'm still going to execute. Now you've got the power back. Now you've put yourself in a position to actually change your reality. I need you to hear me. Excuses delay progress. You think you're protecting yourself when you make them. But what you're really doing is slowing yourself down. Every excuse is another day wasted, another opportunity missed, another step backward. And the worst part is, the more you practice excuses, the better you get at them. Some of you are professionals at excuses. You've been rehearsing them for years. You can justify your lack of progress with the smoothest explanation in the world. But let me ask you, what has that bought you? Where has that gotten you? You're still in the same place, still dealing with the same struggles, still wishing for the same dreams. Now, accountability, that accelerates progress. Accountability forces you to face the truth. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you admit when you're slacking. It doesn't let you hide behind stories. Accountability puts you in the mirror and says, are you really giving everything you've got? And the reason some of you avoid accountability is because deep down, you don't want that truth. You'd rather be comfortable in your excuses than be confronted with your lack of effort. But I'm telling you right now, until you get comfortable with accountability, you'll never see real growth. Sometimes accountability comes from yourself. Sometimes it comes from the people around you. That's why you need to surround yourself with people who won't let you off the hook. You need people in your life who won't buy your excuses, who won't let you play small, who won't let you quit on yourself. If the people around you let you get away with mediocrity, if they let you keep making excuses, you're in the wrong circle. You need people who challenge you, who hold you to a higher standard, who push you to become the best version of yourself. But even if nobody else holds you accountable, you've got to hold yourself accountable. You've got to wake up every morning and check yourself. You've got to ask, am I doing what I said I would do? Am I keeping my promises to myself? Am I showing up the way I need to? Because the truth is, the easiest person to lie to is yourself. You've been breaking promises to yourself for years, and then you wonder why you don't trust yourself to follow through. Accountability starts when you decide that your word means something. That when you say you're going to do it, you do it, no matter what. And here's the thing, you can't cheat accountability. You can't fake it. At the end of the day, the results don't lie. Your bank account doesn't lie. Your body doesn't lie. Your relationships don't lie. Your work ethic doesn't lie. You can make excuses all you want, but the results will always tell the truth. And the only way to change those results is to stop blaming, stop explaining, and start owning. Think about it. Every time you've leveled up in life, it was because you finally stopped making excuses. You got sick and tired of being sick and tired. You stopped blaming other people. You stopped waiting for things to change. You finally said, enough, I'm going to do something about it. And the moment you made that shift, you saw progress. That's not a coincidence. That's what accountability does. It puts you back in control. So I need you to make a decision tonight. Are you going to keep making excuses, or are you going to start holding yourself accountable? Because you can't do both. You can't talk about wanting change while holding on to your excuses. It's one or the other. And I promise you this, once you let go of the excuses and embrace accountability, your life will start moving faster than you ever imagined. It won't be easy. Accountability never is. It'll force you to admit things you don't want to admit. It'll make you uncomfortable. It'll hurt your pride. But that pain is the beginning of growth. That discomfort is the start of transformation. And if you can push through it, if you can accept the truth, if you can own your life completely, then nothing can stop you. So stop waiting, start blaming, stop excusing, start owning, start holding yourself accountable. Because excuses delay progress, but accountability accelerates it. Until you embrace accountability, nothing changes.